Hey, welcome back YouTube to this next tutorial on making a game character, full body, first person view. Yeah, your boy Hunter here with another tutorial. So, as you can see from my previous video, the time is basically exactly the same because I'm just starting off where I left off. So, yeah. I just don't want the video to be very long ass video and you guys gonna be like, oh, sleepy. So close that down, control tab. Now I said we're gonna make a controller, so we already have the game controller, so I can hide these, the main. I'm just gonna bring this back in. So this is gonna be the controller. I'm gonna have to see, okay, I'm gonna make it a lot bigger, somewhere around there. Control A, and always remember to apply the scale. Okay, so we can turn this off again, and then for this you're gonna have to go to this object data properties, and you want to go into the viewport display, and make it a wireframe right there, display as wire. And then we need logic, well actually collision bound. So we don't want a cube collision, we want a triangulated mesh, because when I scale this, it's gonna scale with it. Otherwise, if you use like a box or whatever, it's not gonna scale properly. Then it's gonna try to scale from the center. You don't want that. Alright, I'm just talking about the collision bounds now. Okay, so Shift A, mesh, and let's add a cube. Alt G and scale it down, bring it up. Let's say this is where the head is going to be. Also viewport display, and make it wire. And also we don't want collision bounds on this one, no collision. And then we're not going to parent this just yet. Okay, let's parent it. Control P, object. Let's just get it parented. We're gonna tab into edit mode with this, and Shift A and a single vertex, add single vert. If you don't have that, you just go to object, well, edit, preferences, and extra objects. So extra add-on. So you're gonna have extra objects, and I think there's one that says single. No, it's only gonna do that. So single vertex. You want the single vertex there at the center. So when I try to move this around, it's not gonna let me because I'm not in vertex selection. Did I add that single vertex? Doesn't look like it. Okay, Shift A. Okay, so it's adding it in the wrong spot, so just delete that. Vertices, delete the vertices, hit A, Shift is cursor to selected, and Shift A, and then the single vert, add single vert. So this is gonna be what the camera is going to be parented to, or the head controller. Let's call it the head controller. Now the head controller is gonna be a little bit different for the armature. So what we're going to be using for the head controller, I'm going to Shift A, and we're going to use an empty. It's going to be added in exactly the same spot, so empty, and we're going to use a sphere. And you can see the sphere is a little small, so I'm going to bring it up a little bit, and then this is what's going to be controlling the camera from here on out. Make it a bit smaller. Yeah, that's good. So with the empty selected, we're gonna select this and tab into edit mode and Control P and make vertex parent. So when I take this and I scale it up and down, it won't scale and it's not gonna rotate, but it's going to move this around, as you can see. So from now on, the camera is gonna be rotating around this. So this is also not gonna rotate along with that. You can see it doesn't rotate. This stays exactly the same. So again, I'm gonna go press Control 1 on my keyboard and Shift A and the camera. Just like that. So the camera is aiming forward. So I can scale it down, and I can take this and bring the focal length up a bit. So you can check the focal length. Okay, I think 35 would work a little better. Otherwise it's gonna look way too stretched out. Okay, and again, we're gonna take this, we're gonna move it forward a bit, scale it down. And let's go into 3 just to make sure. Yep, and then Control P and Object. So now this is going to be rotating the camera. So this is gonna make the camera look up and down, left and right. You can place it inside of this, but then you're gonna be seeing inside of your character head. And I don't think you wanna be doing that. So now, I can scale this up and down and it's not gonna be stretching. But for this, I also need a new vertex. So Shift S goes to selected. Tab into edit mode, Shift A and add a single vert. So now I've got a single vertex in that as well, because this is what's going to be controlling the armature of this character. So selecting the armature, select this, tab into edit mode, Control P and make vertex parent. So if I rotate this, nothing's going to happen, but if I move it around, it's still going to move around. So this also works very good for third-person games if you want to use it for a third-person game, but for now I just want this because now I can scale this up and down and it's always going to stay on its original, how should I call it, its original scale. So now we want this to be able to rotate with us. How do we do that? Now we've got this bone in the center, if you remember. So if we tab into edit mode, hit A, Alt H, you will see Control Tab, Alt H, you will see that bone. So this is the bone we're going to be using to rotate the whole bloody thing. But as you can see, it's not working as we want it. So for the feet, I want this to be parented to the feet. The feet should be parented to this. So I'm gonna move this up a bit. And then just move it out. That does not look good. But you can see this is what's controlling it. So actually I want this. If I tap and I just move it out this way, I can still move everything up and down. Something like that. Now if you want, you can take this and parent it to that. Control tab, well, not Control tab, just tab, Control P and keep offset. So now when I rotate this, it's gonna rotate along. So now that's gonna be the main controller. But when I rotate this, you will see the legs, they're not rotating along. So this is what we're going to be doing with these. We don't want to parent them, because if we parent them, I think that we can try. I've never tried it like this. Control P, keep offset. Let's see what happens. But when you go up and down, yeah, that's not what I want. So Control Z a few times. So instead, I'm gonna make a child of. So I wanted to rotate on both axes except for the Z. So instead, I'm just gonna copy rotation. So select this bone, then select this bone. Control Shift C and copy rotation. And you'll see it's gonna copy rotation like that, and that's not what we want. So we're gonna have to go into the constraints tab and make it local space. Local space and local space. And there we go. Now we only want it to rotate on the Z. So when I rotate this, it's gonna do something like that now, and it's not really working. But now that's working. So the copy rotation obviously does not work. So let's try select this bone, Control Shift C, and child off. So we don't want the scale, we don't want the location, and set inverse obviously, and then the rotation. Let's see. You can see it's not working. So there's a bit of an issue with this, parenting this. So we're gonna have to make this track. Like we did with the head, we're gonna have to make a track bone for the feet. So the feet are always pointing forward. And that's what we're gonna be doing now. So tab. I just wanted to show you, if you try to do those methods, what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna duplicate this, move it forward, RZ180. Well, actually just take this and move it forward. GZ. And there's gonna be the foot track. So this is gonna be tracking towards this. So select this, Control Tab, Control Shift I, Control Tab, Control Shift C, and we want a dance track. What the hell? Control Shift C. So now I can see it's going a little bazonkers, but I can still move this up and down and whatever. And also, let's just see. Now we need to get this in the local space. So head tail, that's good. The influence is good. Okay. So we can't really do it on the local space. So we're gonna have to take this bone and move it out a little bit. You'll see the foot going up like that. So we're gonna have to find a nice spot for this. Try and get it, because something like that. That looks a little better. So that's something you're not really gonna see, when doing something like this. You can always use an empty on both feet and then just parent it to the okay, I'm just gonna do it like that. I want to show you that I'm just gonna delete this bone, and this is still going to be a track, but then I'm gonna use an empty. So Shift S, cursor to select it, and then Shift A there, Shift A, and Control Tab, Shift A, and let's use an empty, and let's just use the arrows. Then move it forward, and now this foot is going to be tracking to that. So target, it's not going to be Joe, it's just going to be empty. Now also it's going to be moving up, because as you can see, the rotation is way off. Okay, but why? So GZ, and we want this empty about there. So this is where the empty is going to be going. And Shift D, and just move it out. Go to this one, tab, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then Shift S, selection to cursor. And bring it out. And now we're gonna just copy this. So the location, Control C. Well, actually we just want the, let's see, what's this? The Y. We want the Y. Control C, that's why I actually use this. So Control D, Y, and Control D. And obviously that's not working. So the Z, we want the Z as well. Control C, and Control V. So now they're both on the same in the same place. So Control Tab, and this is gonna get add copy rotation, a damn track, and we're gonna be tracking this object right there. So we can see this is a little too high, just too low. So just bring this up a little bit. You can always go ahead and go to your side view and try to determine where the feet are on the ground. This also needs to come up just a little bit till the feet are on the ground. But when doing that, you will see these are somewhere around there should be fine. Okay, now we want to select these and parent them to this. Control P and Object. So when I take this and I rotate it, the feet are going to follow. But the rest of the mesh is not going to follow. So I need this to be able to follow as well. So let's go ahead and add a bone constraint and child off. We're going to take away the scale, we're going to take away the location. Well, actually we need the location. No, we don't. The rotation, and it's only going to be on the Z, so let's just select this. And we'll see something like that happen. So rotation is going to be... oh boy. Okay, so their location is what... But when I rotate this, nothing's gonna happen. I don't know exactly why, but you just think there was a way around this, and that was with another empty. Sorry, let's try that with another empty. So Control Tab, Shift A cursor to select it, Control Tab, Shift A, and empty. And now I'm just going to use a plain axis and just move it out like this. I'm going to parent it to this, Control P Object, and then we're going to select this, Control Tab, and we're going to do a damn track, just like this, and we're going to select that empty, and boom, everything's going to go haywire. So now we need to find the right axis. So it looks like the negative Y because we got the tail right there. Control Tab. So when I move this up and down, it's gonna follow. When I move this left to right, it's gonna follow. When I rotate this, it will follow, but the legs are not following as they should because these are not parented. So now Control Tab, and these we're just gonna parent them to this bone. So Control P Object, Control Tab, and let's see. It's not working as it should. Let me think. There was a way. I'm gonna have to find that way. It worked the first time. I don't know why it's not working now. Bloody Blender. Okay, so Alt-G, Alt-R. So we got the movement. The rotations just don't want to line up for some reason. You know what? That's what I did wrong. So for the feet, I'm just gonna delete these, and also this is going to be that, so I can just delete that as well. On the feet, Control Tab, we don't want these anymore. Let's just fix this up. what I did with these was I made it empty in the center of this, and I parented to this, and the whole rig was parented to that, and I forgot about that. So on that vertex on the inside. How can I forget? Okay, Shift A, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then Shift A and empty, and I use a cube, and then this armature is going to be parented to the cube. Control P, object. So this cube is going to do the rotations, but the cube is going to Control P and it's going to go on the vertex. So when scaling, what the hell is that? When scaling this, okay, so I got two. So in scaling this, it's still not gonna move anything, but I can rotate it. So this is gonna be the thing that's gonna be tracking. My bad. So this is going to get, you can't really put I think you can use constraints on this, but you don't really want to use that. But I'm just gonna go ahead and copy the rotation. No, controlled off. Controlled off of this. Now we don't want the scale. We don't want the actually we do want the location. So when I do this, it's gonna rotate the whole character. But when I scale it down, not gonna do anything. That's what I want. Now this, easy. We don't have this parented anymore. Control P and object. Is it. Now we can move that up and down, and we won't get any stretching on the camera. That's what we need. So that's gonna look up and down. So let's have a quick look. RX, and when I move my camera down, I should be able to see my body just like that. So when we do the movement, like we walk, we can see the feet. Okay, cool. Now we got that going. Now for this, to do crouching, we're gonna have to do it on both sides. So first we're gonna have to do it on the character. So let's get the crouch going on the character. So I'm gonna go keyframing. Keyframing is going to be location rotation, Control Tab, and then on frame 1 we want this inserted. So all inserted, well, everything except for the hands actually. Insert this, and then let's go for 40 frames. And also before we do animations, I'm just gonna go ahead and bring my frame rate up a little bit. Let me just remember where that was. Oh, and also I want boom. We're gonna need that. So frame rate was here somewhere. Oh, frame rate, and I want 60 frames per second. So it's gonna take 1 second for him to crouch. GZ. Come on, you bastard. Good. And then the feet, we just bring them out a little bit. Rotate that. GZ. Now, let's just go to the side view. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna do the okay, that's only happening because the pole angle is wrong. Okay, for now that should work. So hit A and, well, not A for these. And then insert, and this gonna get Alt R, and Alt G, Alt G. Alt G, Alt R. So I should have turned this on, so it's gonna be a lot easier to work with. So insert that. And on this, I did not have that. So again, bring that out, rotate it. I'm just trying to get everything off that's not supposed to be animated just yet. So, and then just insert that. So now we got a crouch. This is the lowest crouch we can get without actually messing this up. So we can always go ahead and just bring him forward a little bit and bring this up. Something like that. But this one has not been animated, so when I do this, we're gonna have to go Alt G, Alt R. So now the crouch is working. But now we want this to follow the head. So how do we do that? Because we want this to be able to see what the characters see. So now we're gonna have to do another parent. So we're gonna remove the parent from the object from this to put it on this character. So Control Tab. Actually, make sure that it's selected. And Control Tab and select this and hit Alt P and clear parent. Now we're gonna select the armature, Control P and bone. So now, not really gonna see much happening, but when I go into my crouch, you'll see it's going with it. And also, if you really want to, you can scale this down. Just turn this off when you do. You can scale this down and bring it up a little bit so it's more in line with the eyes. But also make sure when you rotate, you want to make sure it does not go past the nose. So I think that should work. But also now I want this to be able to control the head itself. So it still has its rotation, but this is going to get another parent. So when I select this and I go to the constraints, I can go for a damp track and I can select the empty. So it's going to do something like that, but it's not going to work because I need the location and the rotation. So copy transforms, and I'm going to copy the transforms and I'm going to just select that empty. So now it's going to snap it there. So I'm going to go to local space and local space. And after original. Cool. Where is it? I think it's snapped to the how do you call it? There it is. So now I can take this. Come on, where's that empty? There we go. So you can see it's copying somewhat, but it's not really moving anything. So how do we fix that? Control tab. And I think this one constraint is not working, so add, and let's go for a child off. And make sure it's on that empty. Now control tab. If I rotate this, you will see that's what's happening. So now when you move the camera up and down, you know, with the character head, you will always be able to make the character look where you want him to look. So it's gonna, if you make it a multiplayer game, that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna look like this guy's looking around like, what the but obviously it's not really gonna work, but yeah. So Alt R, and now we want this. So remember this on 60 frames. So on frame 1 we want it to be inserted, but now we want the king to set to scale. So insert the scale, and then on 60 frames we're gonna just bring that down, SZ. So that's the lowest you can go, so insert that. But now you will see this is freaking out. So set inverse. I don't know. No scale. Location. I don't know why the rotation is so bloody important. But okay. That's gonna be an issue. But that's because this is parented to, well, let's just do this. Parented to this empty. But it's also parented to this. So it's always going to be moving with this. So I can just go ahead and tab and Alt P and clear parent. Alt P, clear parent. There we go. So Alt G now. Not gonna work. So set inverse. Control tab. And this Alt R. So when I rotate this, it should now work. There we go. Now we got a nice crouch going on. Now the reason I'm not animating the arms just yet, is because I don't want it to move along with the rig, because we're going to be controlling the arms. You know, that's going to be the main part of your body that's going to be the most detailed. You're going to be holding stuff with it. It's going to go up and down. It's going to go left and right. You're going to switch objects with it. So that's what we're doing right now. So lastly, we're just going to add some motions, and let's see how long we have left. We don't know, half an hour now. So I'm gonna do a quick walking animation. Tab, and also just go to your tab right there and just call this crouch. And also here you can just copy this, Control C, Control V, and also there just player. There we go. So now we can just put this in and we can turn them off. Now we're gonna do the walking. So Normal walking animation, I think, is gonna be about 60. Let's say 80 frames. Let's try 80. So, Control Tab. I'm gonna bring this foot up. Rotate it. We're gonna bring this down just a little bit. Make sure this is enabled before we do that. So G and G. And now it's setting the scale instead of location rotation. So again, insert and insert. And then on one, we want to insert the same. Insert. And for this, also insert. So we're going to use this as the passing pose. So let's go to 20 frames. This foot is going to go back. This one is going to go forward. I don't know what the hell happened there. Rotate this a bit. And now it's the contact pose from here. So that's where this is going to come down. GZ. Actually, Z. Something like that. Just a nice flap down, boom. And then we want him to move back. Alt G, Alt R. And this one is going to come up to that pose right there. So rotate it, GZ, and Alt G. Let's see which one has the that's gonna be the next. But it's not gonna go there. I'm gonna go forward with it. So 3 and just G and bring it forward. Bring the heel up. Bring this back. And again, this goes down. GZ. Something like that. GZ. That might be a little too low, so GZZ. Something like that. Alt R, GZ. And also from this, we're gonna go and give this rotation. GZ. And also this. So right there we want it Alt R. So now on 80 frames, that is where everything gets copied back. Well, so B, select the feet, and make sure it's not on one. Make sure this is not there. So there we got a nice walk animation for that. So there's a little bit of let's see where that is. Over there. This one comes up a little too high. So we want this height on it instead of that straightforward. So I'm just gonna duplicate this keyframe for him and I'm just gonna set it on 40. Okay, so there's a little issue with that foot as well. Control Z. Okay, so there's another way we can do that, and just by copying the pose. Alt A, Control C, and copy location. Control V. Oh, come on. Okay, let's just do it around here. Location. Okay, I don't want Y location on this. I'm just going to remove that. I just want the Z, Control C. And Control B. And also there. Control B. And 0. So, Alt A. We've got a nice up and down motion, and we can move the feet, and it's now these two frames that I have selected. Connect A and make sure I only have this frame and this frame for all of them. And then I'm gonna Control T. T, and then make sure this is set to constant. Okay, no, not that. Control T. Let's try linear. So it doesn't have a freeze when it actually moves. And that looks good. Now we got a moving animation, and we can still animate the arms like we want without the rest of the rig getting in the way. We can always move this a bit forward if we wanted to. You can turn this off. And it shouldn't have the rotation on it, so you can always go to the summary, and we're gonna go with a root, and you can just take away the scale and the quadrant rotation and just delete that. So it will always be moving like that, but you won't have rotations on that. So you can just go ahead. Okay, let's say I want it to move like this, and it will always go ahead and do that. If you really wanted to, you can take away the GZ. If you want to make him crouch while walking, you can also do that, but then you have to remove every location like this. And then let's say you got this going on, and now it's only gonna be walking like that. But when I do this and hit C, Alt H, I'm gonna get something that goes something like that. So you can do a crouch walk like that, but then there's no up and down motion, so you're gonna have to get an extra bone to do that up and down motion for it. So for this, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna make my up and down motions like that, so I can actually get nice animations for this. And also, I don't want to do it with the head because just go ahead and Control Z, 0, and RX. Now you see I'm actually seeing the nose, but I can see the character moving up and down and forward and left and right. But I can just do rotation on the Z. Okay, but anyway, But you can see the rotation on the camera is going to work along with this. So I don't know exactly what I saw there. I can actually see RX and see. Okay, that's basically where it should stop, around there. Because if I go ahead and do this, you'll see, hold on, I don't want it to go past that point. So we can do that with the logic bricks, but for now we got the walking animation and everything is going. But now on the next tutorial we're gonna add props. So let's say EMF detector or a backpack. We're gonna do all of that. So we're gonna be having a proper character. So if you have like a backpack you want to put on them, you want it to spawn in instead of just, you know, trying to line it up and then, oh, that's a nightmare. But we're gonna be doing that, and also we're gonna spawn in something into the hands, so that's gonna be something to look forward to. And also this crouch animation, that actually, this crouch walk, yeah, we're gonna do that like procedurally, like a procedural crouch, we can say it like that. But then we're gonna have to get something to control this bone, like I said, because you can't control this bone with the animation going. And so you're gonna have to go shift A, shift S because it is selected, and then shift, control tab, shift A, and let's go for empty in a cube. The empty cube. So I'm gonna say, okay, this is what I'm gonna be using to do the up and down motions. So there's gonna be control tab, this is gonna have a child off. So instead of a dam track, we're gonna have a child off, and we're gonna select this cube. So now I can just do this and select this cube and just do that. But now you can see, now he's walking there. So that's where we're gonna be saying, okay, we have to say this is the rotation. So now we can set the inverse, Alt R, try that again, set inverse, and GZ. Wow, it's an alien! But now you can do, yeah, now you can just animate this. Okay, now you want them to move like a crouch, but now you can see going a little too low, you will get something like that happening. So now I can control this character with that one single empty, but like I said, if you try to do the crouch, you're gonna get something like that happening. So the way to fix that, control tab, and make sure this is not enabled. So where is that? Let's see which one it is. Control tab. I think it's this one. So this one has to come down a little bit. You can always do something like this. Okay, so Control Tab, and now we got it in place. So that's the lowest you can crouch without actually can go a little lower until he starts going like an alien. So then we can just keep going with the walk animations, the crouch animations. So when you do the crouch, you're gonna do it with that. So when I GZ and I put it where it's supposed to be, I think it was about there, I can take this and parent it to this, Control P and Object. So now when I play that crouch animation, I think it's gonna work. It won't work when it's got another animation playing, but when you do that crouch animation, that should follow, so it's gonna crouch with you. So let's go player, and this is gonna be walk. Put it up. Okay. So I'm just gonna go about, let's say there. So you can do the crouch while he's walking. So let's go ahead and go for the crouch for this. I'm not going to use that crouch anymore. I'm only going to use this one. And you can see the crouch is going. But now you can see there's a stretching going on. So Control Tab. Oh, actually, Alt P, clear parent, and just parent this to that. Control P and vertex. So now it should work. But now it's not going like it should, so that one is on the wrong place. Control P and vertex. Oh, actually on this, Control P and vertex. So it should also rotate this. RZ. But now there's a little bit of an issue because now this is no longer moving that around. As you can see, because there's no more as you can see, there's a little bit of an issue. So there's something else we're gonna fix, but now I can do the crouching just like that while we're doing the crouch like this. Something like that. So, and also you can always turn on the crouch if you really want to. So it's gonna go berserk. Because now you can see this going to go way too low, so you're gonna have to go ahead and do something like this to counter that. But it gives you a little bit more control over what's going on, how you can use this, how you can, you know, rotate everything, how you can control your character. But now, like I said, now there's no more control for this. Like, we can't control the player anymore with this, because this is now following something else. So that was this bone right there. So if you want, you can do another child off, but I think it's gonna start messing around, and we can just do the, we don't want the scale, so we only want the location rotation. Control Tab. So if I rotate this, it's not gonna work, because this is not copying the rotation properly, if you can see that. Here we go, you can see what's going on there, because this is inverting for some unknown reason. So, child off, not working. We can go copy location rotation and whatever, but for now the first method works. So doing the crouch while walking, we're gonna have to improvise on that or fix what's going on here. So in the next video, we're actually going to fix this and then, excuse me, and then do the items. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something from this. If you liked it, give it a like. And also, do me a favor and subscribe. Oh, my lord, is jumping. It's just because this is going all the way up, so. But now I can see how you can do a jump as well. You see something with the animations, you don't want to do this. Okay, but also just give me a like and subscribe if you liked it. But like I said, keep an eye out for the next video where we actually fix all this weirdness and also do the items for the character and do the motions and the collisions and whatever you. So until next time, thanks for watching and have a great day.